What is up, my cats and sprouts? It's yo boy Hunter, and this is another video by the Silas system. In today's video we will be taking a look at the relationship between the Hulk and Banner and whether it could count as a dissociative system. First we have to ask, what makes a D.I.D. system? Well, in simple terms, someone who shares a body with other people who has also been diagnosed with D.I.D. So, if we were going to go about seeing if Hulk and Banner could count as a D.I.D. system, the main thing we would need to do is see if they would be diagnosed with D.I.D. Spoilers for the latest few Marvel movies, just in case you haven't caught up yet for some unknown reason. For the purpose of this video, we'll be focusing on the movies and not the comics, although the comics are far superior. But that's just because more people have seen the movies than they have read the comics. And there's fewer movies to look through, so we apologise for anyone who would prefer we stick to comic lore. The Hulk first appeared in a Marvel movie in 2003 called Hulk, but it fell on very harsh criticism. The Incredible Hulk followed in 2008, but was still not particularly well received. The first movie to feature the Hulk and Banner that was accepted by fans was The Avengers, starring Mark Ruffalo, who is the current actor for Banner. From there out to now, the characters of Hulk and Banner have been evolving, and this evolution is what we will be looking at to see if they can be used as a metaphor for D.I.D. Within the Avengers, Banner is shown more often than Hulk. Ruffalo states that he wanted to portray the role as a normal guy struggling with two sides of himself, the light and the dark, and to highlight how the other Avengers can never be sure whether they want Banner, and by that, the Hulk, on their team. This original portrayal could be seen as a parallel to someone who is just learning that they have a dissociative disorder. The fear of someone taking over your life and hurting your friends, the fear of other parts of you, and the struggle of self-identity when your personality at its core is split. These themes or deeper character struggles are something that people not only within dissociative disorders, but also anyone struggling with their own identity can relate to. The Hulk instantly became a fan favourite across the board due to this relatability. But this is still only having half of the duo as relatable. Within this movie, the Hulk gets no more characterization than he's angry and attacks things. This falls behind in the D.I.D. representation that it could be, even though I know it's not supposed to be, by falling on the age-old trope of having an angry evil alter who is solely there to make your life a living hell. The next movie with Banner was technically Iron Man 3 in a post-credit scene, but it's only there as a gag on Banner being a doctor, but not a therapist. We next see Hulk and Banner in Avengers 2, Age of Ultron, where we have a small amount of characterization of the Hulk through Black Widow and their relationship, which was largely disliked and had many fans up in arms. The later made fun of line, "The sun's getting real low," showed Hulk as a slightly more vulnerable character, which is what we needed, and opened up the pathway for Thor Ragnarok. It is also at the end of this movie that we see Hulk take control and leave the Avengers behind, disappearing until his return in Thor Ragnarok. The characterization of the two in that movie is what I think makes them a viable metaphor or a symbol for a D.I.D. system. For the first time, we see Hulk being portrayed as a character, with his own feelings, likes, dislikes, and overall personality. He makes friends, runs his own life, and can be seen as a functional person without the need for Banner. This to me shows the relationship as being one that can be likened to a D.I.D. system, through the more intricate and complicated going on between them. Hulk steps forward as a host, a term in D.I.D. meaning the person who deals with everyday life, whilst Banner can't. After the happenings in Age of Ultron, Banner is left a psychological mess, and it is Hulk who takes charge and keeps them both safe. This can be seen as not only a good way to explain to systems how host changes are a normal and sometimes necessary part of life, but also as a way to validate those personalities who are coming forward to take control. The way Hulk behaves to the way he is treated is also reminiscent of a personality within a system, feeling like they aren't wanted over the other parts, or that people only want to be friends with them when they are someone else, literally. Hulk voices these feelings in a way that is easy to understand and empathise with, even if you yourself have never experienced these feelings. When Banner resurfaces, his actions and feelings are in line with someone within a system going dormant. He has no idea what has been going on whilst Hulk has been in charge, and feels as though no time has actually passed. He is of course upset. You're going to be able to hear my cat eating in the background. He is of course upset and disoriented, needing Thor to calm him down. Banner also shares Hulk's feelings of friends only wanting to know the other part or the other personality. For the rest of this movie and the next, Banner is hesitant and afraid to call on Hulk for help, and then tries to, but finds Hulk refusing to come out. I found this to be somewhat accurate to how people within a D.I.D. system can fear switching due to having been dormant for long periods and the way that other personalities can refuse to front in certain situations. Up to the end of Infinity War, I was still on board with what they were doing with Hulk. And then Endgame happened. And did you just see what they did to him? After so much time and effort put into developing them as two separate characters, after Hulk was only just being treated as a completely separate person with his own autonomy, having never explored why Hulk refused to come out, or the personal issues between the two, or anything like that, what do? They smashed them together into one shitty character. Now, some of you might be thinking that you really liked it, or that in terms of D.I.D. this is just integration and it's still okay. But no, I didn't like it. The reason I don't personally like Professor Hulk is that it isn't a true cross between the two. If it had been an integration or refusing of the two fragmented personalities, there would be more of a blurred line between them. But instead, we get Banner's mind in Hulk's body. They took all of the important character building of Hulk, all the humanizing that they did, and they threw it out the window to allow this monstrosity to grace our screens as a joke. I might have been okay with it if one of two things happened. One, they showed more of the complex struggle between the two and the decision making between becoming one, or two, they allowed more of Hulk to exist within the fuse. It is so heavily skewed to Banner, so much more Banner than Hulk, that it feels like they just didn't want to have to continue writing the relationship and wanted both the Big Green and Banner's brains, so smashed them together into a bad form of integration. Before Endgame, I was happy to explain to people how Hulk and Banner could be used as a mainstream character to explain some of the more complicated relationship issues within dissociative disorder systems. They worked as a way to explain issues of control and fronting, fear of each other, dealing with friendships and the insecurities that come about with it, and how, in moments of crises, personalities can protect one another. After Endgame, I am less inclined to use them as a way of explaining. I personally think that the fusion of the two in this way has ruined them as a character, but this is just my personal opinion. I am aware that Hulk was never intended to be a metaphor for D.I.D, and that anything the producers and creative team did was in no way to make the characters any more or less related to D.I.D. It's just, it was so good. It was so good to use to explain to people. What they did with Hulk and integrating them means that you can't really use them to explain such a complex thing in a simple way anymore. If you did, you'd get all the questions of, so if you integrate, you're just becoming you with a little bit of someone else. But that's not really what integration is. I'm really hoping that they fix this by going through and having a separate movie that deals with them choosing to become one, or even down the line having them struggle and even fall out of integration. But how it is now, they've just ruined him. They've ruined one of my favourite characters, and I'm a little bit pissed. And I know at the moment everyone's been reeling about the whole Spider-Man, Sony, Marvel thing. And it seems like a bit of a stupid thing to be getting upset over the Hulk instead of that whole fiasco there. And I know that people are getting really upset at Sony, even though it's not their fault, it's actually Marvel's fault for being a douchebag in the beginning. And if you guys want us to rant about that in a separate video, I am happy to. I am always happy to get grumpy behind a screen. It is what I do best. But anyway, we hope you enjoyed this video and this little bit of a rant. And hopefully, it gave you a new way to look at two beloved comic book characters. If you agree or disagree with anything we said, please comment below and we will happily discuss any points made. And we might even eventually make a video including all of your opinions on any of our theories or videos. Until our next video, you cats and sprouts, keep your insanity bars low, your HP high, and we will see you in the next one.